For this video, we're going to be working on double and half angle formulas. First off, I want to just state a couple double angle identities that will be important for this video. And with that said, these aren't all of the possible identities, but they're the ones that we're going to be using, so here are the identities. Using these identities, we're going to at first just go over how to basically rewrite an equation so that's more simple. So the first one is going to be 10 sine x cosine x, and as you can see, one of the identities that we wrote is basically in that same format, as I'm going to point to in about 10 seconds. There we go. So right there, that's the same exact format. So we can use that. So we're going to factor out a 5, and we're going to rewrite this as 5 sine x cosine x. And with that said, we can continue to simplify this, and we can turn it into 5 sine 2x, and that's how you can rewrite that to simplify it. For the second one, we're going to be using this equation right here, and as you can see, I wrote it down: cosine 2 theta equals 2 cosine squared theta minus 1. So because those are similar, we can use those to simplify this this equation. So that's going to turn out to be, because we're going to factor out the 3 again, because you can do that because there's a 6. So it's going to be 2 cosine second power x minus 1. You can even simplify that even more, like the previous one, and that turns out to be 3 cosine squared x. The next thing we're going to do is go over how to rewrite and simplify half angle identity. And I say identity because there are more, and that's why I underlined that, but there's identities, but we're just using one. So the one that we have here is cosine theta over 2 in parentheses equals plus or minus 1 plus, or the square root of 1 plus cosine theta over 2. And the equation that we're going to rewrite is about to be written here. So it's going to be square root of 1 plus cosine 4x over 2. So here we're going to go back up to the identity that we wrote before. See, it matches, so we can use that to simplify it. And our first step is taking cosine out and getting 4x over 2 in parentheses. We can simplify that even more, getting cosine 2x, and that's going to be our most simplified answer. The last thing that we're going to go over is solving double angle equations with identities. And here I have a triangle, a 5, 12, 13 triangle, so it's simple for us to understand. And first we're going to solve cosine 2 theta. So that's just double of the, or cosine of double that angle. And we're going to use this equation as one of the identities that we had before. So we can rewrite that as, if you look at the triangle, 12 over 13, because that's cosine, squared, minus sine, which is 5 over 13 squared. And that can, that's equivalent to 144 over 169 minus 25 over 169. And that equals out to be 119 over 169. Just give me a second here. And as you can see, I'm writing right now, 119 over 169. And that is the exact answer for that question. Next, we're going to be doing the same thing, but with sine. And, sorry, I'm just fixing this to give myself more room. So, going back up to the triangle, you can see this side. So sine is going to be, the way to solve this is 2 sine theta cosine theta from the identities that we worked on before. So I'm going to start writing. Yep, here we go. So it's going to be 2 over 1, because you can see there's a 2 before sine, cosine, and then it's going to be multiply sine, which is 5 over 13, and then you're going to multiply it by cosine, which is 12 over 13. All of that together is equal to 120 over 169. And that's going to be the answer for sine. Lastly, we're going to go over tan 2 theta, which is the same thing, just using tangent. So for this one, you don't need an equation, because for tangent, you can just use sine over cosine. That makes it a lot easier. So looking back at the previous ones, we had cosine was 119 over 169, and sine was 120 over 169. So I'm just writing this out to make it so you understand. So it's going to be 120 over 169 and over 119 over 169. And what that simplifies to is 120 over 119, as I'm about to write. And that is your answer for tangent. There's all the work. If you need to review any of it, feel free to go back and look at any of the identities that I wrote down before. Those aren't all of them, but just the ones in the video that helped out. And that's going to conclude the video. Thank you for watching.